Today I was in a meeting at work and I used the phrase, so who's going to bell the cat? Or now it's time to bell the cat, or all we have to do is bell the cat, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. But everyone looked at me like I grew another head. I'm like, what does it mean? Your Lolly was the only one who had ever heard the phrase, or something along those lines. I believe she had heard putting the bell around the cat's neck. And no one understood it, so I had to tell them the story. And so I figured, if I tell them the story, I might as well tell you the story. So I originally thought that this was one of Aesop's fables because it's very, very Aesop, because it's anthropomorphic animals. It's animals who talk and think like normal people. But turns out I did some more digging. It shows up somewhere in the Middle Ages, all over Western Europe, and it's like, is it Dutch? Is it German? Is it English? Is it French? Is it Welsh? It just shows up all over the place. But the story goes like this. There were cats in the city, and they were being hunted there were mice in the city, and they were being hunted by a cat. And the cat snuck up on the mice because the cats have little soft paws and the claws that retract. And so because the claws retract, they don't go click, 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 click on the floor like dogs do. So the cat moves silently and sneaks up and catches the mice. Now the mice were like, this is terrible. We got to find some way to put an end to the cat problem. And so the mice sat around and talked and thought. And they're like, what if we put a bell around the cat's neck? And they're like, wow, that's a great idea. So the mice started talking about this, and it's like, we could hear the cat coming from blocks away. The moment we hear that bell, boom, we're gone. Cat won't be able to sneak up on us. Cat won't be able to hunt us down. We'll be able to just go about our merry business knowing that we'll be safe from the cat. And he started making plans to raid the pantry. He started making plans to just go hog wild. And then someone said, well, who's going to bell the cat? So who's going to put the bell around the cat's neck? And then all of a sudden the mice realized that, well, yes, if the cat had a bell around its neck, everything would be fine and wonderful and perfect. But it's going to take a lot of dangerous, hard work in order to get there. So belling the cat is used for a problem where the act of enacting the solution may actually be worse than the problem was. And it's also for something that is high risk, but at the same time high reward. So I use the phrase belling the cat, and nobody in the room but Lolly had heard about it. I asked some people on social media, and the general consensus is, what? Most people hadn't heard of it. A couple people have, but anyway, it's a great phrase, belling the cat, for a problem that looks like it's a brilliant solution, but at the same time is very difficult and dangerous to implement.